Oh, we got one person watching. Sorry guys, I had to go take care of the leftovers from the squirrel from today. So I had to go take care of that. But man, guys, that's the whole reason why I came on tonight. Let's see if we get a few people watching. All right. Oh, got one person watching. Oh, excuse me. Oh, got two on now. Here we go. Now we're getting someone. Oh boy, what What a rough morning. But we got it done. Jeez, I didn't know they were that loose. How's it going on the first hunt? And it was rough this morning. I didn't even see one earlier, and within shooting range, and it got frustrating. I was like, oh my god, and it's so thick out there right now. And then I ended up staying out until about 9 a.m. this morning, and then just gave up. Started kind of getting a little bit warmer out, so I was like, they're done moving now. Like, they're already out moving, and I got in there bright and early because I wanted to get them coming down out of the trees from their nest sites and stuff, and that's usually the best way to get them is when they're just coming down like that. And I didn't see any activity out of any of those nests that was nearby, and if they did, they had a second route to come out, and might have been on the backside of those trees, but I never seen them come out of there. And I was facing about 4 or 5 different nests, and out of those 4 or 5, there was not one in my sight that came out of any of them. So that tells me right there that they probably have a second route that they use to come in and out on the backside. So I think after this morning's hunt, now I know what's going to happen from here on. And it's kind of hard to, figure out what way they're coming in and out of. And that's what killed me this morning. And I don't know if those were actually active nests or if they're not. Maybe they're old, because we got like a buttload back there, and some of them are kind of older. That I don't know if they just reuse them over every year or if they just create new ones. But like I said, it was crap this morning back there. And then after this morning, I came back up and I was like, I don't even know if I'm gonna go back there this afternoon and evening. And I was like, I guess I probably will. And it paid off, and got back there by 3-ish and sat down, and it was about quarter to 6, I believe. And one came out right in front of me. It was like 13 yards away, and old Godzilla dropped it and went right through the vital area, turned broadside on a stump, came down the side of a broken tree where it was kind of leaning like this, and it came down it. And when it came down it, it went like that, and then it jumped on the stump. Well, before that, I heard something above me, and I just couldn't see what it was. Like, I mean, it just got to the point is, it's so thick out there that I couldn't find it. So basically, what I did is I'm like, screw it. It might have been a bird, it might have been a squirrel, stuff like that. And then about 10 minutes before I shot the one, I heard something running off to the side of me, and came out to be that it was that one. And he come down the tree right there in front of me about 13 yards, jumped on a fallen stump from a tree that we cut down, and and I left the stump there, and he sat there perfect broadside, kind of looked at me, sat up prone position like he's like a beast and stuff, like he can't take Godzilla, and put the crosshairs right on him, squeezed it off. He flew off of that stump, and when he flew off that stump, I didn't even hear the impact. All I heard was that slug hitting the tree straight right behind him, and he jumped off and probably went about 10 feet in the air, sprung straight up in the air, hit the ground. When he hit the ground, he jumped back up and took off running. And like I said in the video, he didn't even go very far. Like, and it was like a blood trail all the way. So those slugs definitely did a number to him. And I skinned him out tonight. I ended up hitting him in the lungs, double lunged him. And he didn't go no, he was done instant. And I caught the side of his heart, and then it kind of came out the opposite side, kind of like down here a little bit of area, and he was kind of quartering away when I shot him. So it went in through behind his front shoulder on this side, quartering away. It went in right here, and it came out like the lower back end down here. Do I own a real gun? Oh yeah, I own real guns. I like squirrel hunting with air guns, and I have shotguns. I use 22 LRs and stuff like that, and but I like going back to the old air gun type of hunting. It's fun, challenging, and there's times out there that I'll use my shotgun and stuff like that, or 22 LR. I'll use them a lot, but I kind of like using the air guns, and that's what my channel is more about, is the air gun type of stuff. And I do have a few shotgun videos of squirrels on my channel. It's from a few years ago, but I'm more into the higher end. Do you live in Texas? No, I do not. I don't think I would want to live down there in Texas, to be honest, just because how warm it is all year round. No, thank you. I have a Powerline 880 my uncle gave to me. There you go. I had one, and I swear, like, I killed many squirrels with that gun. And many animals I've shot with that gun. It was deadly accurate, for a 177, I was shooting Crosman Premier hollow points, Crosman pointed, and the thing was deadly accurate. And it just did the number on animals close range. I mean, I wasn't shooting BBs, but I was shooting pellets out of it, and I was able to achieve about a dime-sized group at 50 yards with Crosman hollow points. For a 177, that's pretty good for a pump-domatic gun, and I couldn't beat it. So, oh, Godzilla barked today. She wanted it. She wanted to show off. And like I said, guys, and that was my first squirrel ever with a 25 PCP, and I said it in the video. And, and especially a slug. I've never really shot a squirrel with a slug. And after tonight, it's like, as of right now, I don't even really want to shoot a pellet at a squirrel right now. Just because after I saw what the slug did to the thing, and when I cleaned it out, and I didn't really do the cleaning video because YouTube, but when I was cleaning it out, its whole internals were basically like shredded inside of it, and So it definitely did some damage, and it was close too. Like that, I never thought I'd get that close of a shot. Like I was expecting maybe like 30, 40 plus yards, and you know, come up that close to me is like, whoa. So it goes to show right there that, you know, you got to practice at all distances, you know, and all my guns right now are pretty much tuned out to about 50 yards. Godzilla shooting the slugs right there is tuned out to about 75 to 100. And I don't really have, never really shot the Godzilla up close, like at that close. And, you know, for a slug gun, I should have, you know, I was thinking, well, it's going to be a longer shot, and that's where the slugs will come in at. Well, when he comes in at 13 yards from me, it's like, okay. And, you know, and I never really practice at that distance that close. And, you know, with that gun at least, but whatever. I guess I killed it, so. My dad doesn't let me shoot pellets because they can give cancer. Last year I killed a squirrel in my backyard. What rifle's behind you? The Air Venturi Avenger 25 synthetic stock, and then I got the 22 Woodstock model, and that one's probably going to be going out next, just because now I achieved it with the 25 with the slugs. And now that I actually saw to the point is what a slug could really do to a squirrel, now it's like I don't even think I really even want to shoot another one. But yeah, I have a 22 Woodstock model right here. Here's the 22 model. This one's got an Element Helix scope on it, and this scope works really good on this gun. And this one's shooting JSB FX 1813s really well. Shoots the Barracuda 1813s really well. Shoots the 1589s, Crosman Hollow Points, FX hybrids in 22. You know, so this gun's kind of like a all around, but I don't really have it tuned in right now with slugs in the 22. Just because the 25 is Godzilla. And the reason why I named it Godzilla is because it's a slug gun. And as soon as that slug impacted that squirrel, even the gun barked out and said, Godzilla's coming. But these right here were the slugs I was shooting today. The NSA 38.9 grain .250 slugs. And then I got these ones that I haven't shot yet and tested out. But I got the 36.2 grain in 25. And never tried these yet out of the 20 or out of the Godzilla. So these ones are probably going to be tested next. And these Nelson slugs, guys, they're dangerous looking. Like, especially the 25, like that hollow point in them is ridiculous. Like that's almost like a bullet hollow point. And you gotta be careful shooting these though. Should really put the side shot back on this 25. So when's your guys' squirrel season, or if you guys squirrel hunt, or if you guys are just um, what do you guys like to do? Looks like a small 9mm. What's with the hole in the tip? That's a hollow point. I got the old FX hybrids, and you guys can see right here that that's what the hollow point looks like inside on a slug. And if Tim's in here right now, he's bugging me to sell him a couple of them. He's all over me about them. But yeah, they're deadly. Those slugs are way. I can tell you guys this right now, that slugs are a lot more accurate. The only downfall is they're easier in the wind. They don't drift with the wind like pellets do. The only downfall is with the slugs is you have to tune them. And you have to find out the right tune, because the fact is slugs are more stable, and a lot of people use slugs these days now because obviously they're more flatter trajectory over pellets, where that pellet has more of a drop. Well, a slug shoots straight out, and yeah, there's still some drop out of them, but you know, not as much as a pellet would do. And I could give you guys the ballistics chart for Godzilla right now with the Nelson's specialty 38 grain slug. They're flat all the way out to 80 yards with crosshairs from a 35-yard zero. And even in closer, they're still flat. There's no rising, there's no dropping out there to 80 yards. And then at 100 yards, they only come up 1 mil at 100 yards. And that's it. And then beyond that, 120 yards, you know, they start to kind of drop a little bit more, but they come up and they rise up, and then they're starting to come back in and meet your reticle. And I don't have any problem with the slugs now. My pellets, with the right tune at longer distance, with the wind, or most of the time it's the wind that will change it a little bit. And pellets are known to only shoot roughly to about 50 yards. Yeah, you can get them shoot farther than that, but if you want to shoot farther than 50 yards, go to a slug. The other downfall is the tuning process of slugs. It's a whole heck of a lot more tuning over the pellets. And I spent countless hours with Godzilla tuning those Nelson slugs to be able to produce and perform great and excellent. And finally came up with the tune, and it's lights out right now with that slug out of that Godzilla. And when that squirrel had no chance today, like, and he basically was done at impact. Can you show us your collection of guns or rifles? Most of my bigger caliber guns are downstairs in my gun safe. So I have another one out here. Besides just the Avengers, I have the Crawl NPL3, another PCP air rifle with a Donnie FL on the tip. It's got adjustable stock. Kind of looks like an AR type of gun. 2900 pressure. This one's not regulated like the Avengers are. The Avengers are regulated. This one's not. But this one basically, is almost regulated. Like there's very minimal of a drop in speed, and regulated guns, they keep the speed every shot until you drop below that regulator. But the unregulated are going to drop a little bit because it's not going to be the same pressure all the time when you squeeze, and the regulated guns are going to be pretty much the same until you get close to that reg. So that's the Crawl MPL3. That's another one I have out here right now. This is 22 cal. Got a center point spectrum, first vocal plane on this one. Bolt action. Got a cheek riser, so you could rise the cheek up and down. Got the old Donnie FL on this one. I know it's a little dirty. It's got tape on it. So yeah, all these markings on it is actually tape for some odd reason. But this gun right here, without this Donnie on it, it sounds like a 22 LR on it. Like it's just that much louder. But this one's quiet with this Donnie on it. I saw a comment. I don't know if that guy's in here, but I kind of want to go over something that one guy commented on, and he said, "What's the difference between a 22 Avenger, or not difference? How much louder is the 25 Avenger over the 22 Avenger?" And I meant to get back to that guy, but if he's watching here, here's what I could put it as. The 25 is a little bit louder than the 22. Due to the fact is because it's more air, you're pushing a heavier pellet over your 22. So it's obviously going to crack a little bit more. It's not like a 22 LR where you hear that crack and that noise is traveling through the woods. When I shot Godzilla tonight at that squirrel with the slug, I barely heard the gun. And you know, the 22 is obviously a little bit quieter because it's shooting a lighter pellet. It's not having to use as much air in the 22 to push that pellet over the 25, where it's a bigger chunk of lead. So it's got to use more air, and that more air it's got to use, the more sound it's going to make. That's how I put it as. Looks like a big shotgun shell. Yeah. The Donnie FLs, they do work really good on guns. Like, yeah, there's other moderator companies out there and stuff like that, but Donnie FL's a good company. Do you think pellets make more damage than BBs? Oh yeah, definitely. Pellets are way better. BBs have a tendency to curve left and right, up and down. You know, they're not as accurate. And if you're going to take a BB out there squirrel hunting, yeah, good luck with that, because whew, it's like a Hail Mary shot. You know, basically BBs I would probably use just for like plinking cans or something, but if you're actually going to go out there and hunt, I wouldn't even bother taking BBs, because you're just going to, you'll be lucky enough to even hit something, a small game animal with a BB. Maybe close range, like 5 yards or less, you might be able to, but, you know, real typical hunting world, you know, you ain't going to get no 5-yard shot and closer on a small game animal. Or unless you sneak in, and if you sneak in, you better let me know, because you can get less than 10 yards from a squirrel and shoot one with a BB, and it drops them. You better let me know, because I've never done it. I don't want to. But yeah, the pellets are way better. Pellets are more flatter trajectory over the BBs. But then the slugs, like I said earlier, slugs are more flatter than a pellet. Pellets don't have as much drop close range. You know, depending on what your zero is and where your scope is zeroed in at. But it it all varies. Well, there you go. I how far were you? Because I like I said, I wouldn't even attempt to shoot a BB at a squirrel. You must have been pretty close there then for that. I gotta turn the compressor off, unplug it tonight. I'll do it right now. That's cool. Never done that. I kind of stick to the higher end guns. Or not really higher end, but I kind of stay away from those type of BB guns. I used to when I was little, but now it's like I have no purpose to shoot BBs, unless I'm a shoot pop cans or something. Bring back the old days when I first started. But I can show you guys this. This is, here it is right here. So, show you guys this real quick. I don't shoot squirrels unless they're damaging my crops or building a nest in my attic. Oh, cool. There you go. But anyway, so if you guys want to know what the Nelson slugs can do out of the Avenger in 25, so when I was tuning them in about a week ago, getting ready for today, was this top target right here was the Nelson slugs before I had it tuned in. God dang moth, scared the crap out of me. You can see the first two shots were a little bit higher, then it started dropping in, and then that was where my final results right there. And I said, okay, so this was 35 yards with the slug. Then I went out, put up another target, and here's my 8 shots right here. 35 yards. And then this was 50. And I was aiming for the number 8, like here. Number 8, number 8. And that's 2 shots right there, neck to neck. So that was 50 yards with the slug. So that's pretty good in my eyes at that distance. The target I've shot have holes all over it. Yeah. See, that's the difference right there between kind of like upper level than the lower end guns such as the Daisy power line. Yeah, you could get accurate groups with lower end guns, but you can get tighter groups with the higher mid-level guns. No, I'm not in the Army. No. No, it's just one of my words I use all the time. A lot of people say that, but what game of guns are you talking about? Because it comes down to what gun you're exactly talking about. Swarm Magnum? Yeah, no. I did use the FX hybrids in the Swarm Magnum, and they didn't do really good. Like, they kind of shot all over, and they shot all over, and basically what happened was I got about like a 3-inch group out of them with that gun, and you know, that's not good at all. Yeah, my Gamble Swarm Whisper loves the Crosman Premier Help wins Gamble Red Fire. I'm on a live stream right now. Yeah, I've tried them before. I haven't tried the Red Fires, and they shot really good. But yeah, no, I've never really tried slugs out of the Swarm Magnum. Yeah, that would be really your best bet, is to get sampler packs, guys. If you really want to get down to the point, is like the H&N slugs have sampler packs. The NSA slugs have sampler packs. So if you really want to get down to figure out what's the best one for your gun, is get samplers. Hang on, guys, I gotta go let the dog in real quick. But yeah, like I said, the sampler packs are the best way. thought the garage door noise was a toilet flushing. No. Yeah, it does. Definitely. Got a crow at 88 yards with a Crosman Premier Hollow Points 22 Magnum. I mean, guys, I have stacks of pellets because I'm working with a few companies with my channel. So I got a few packs of pellets laying around, and like I have the FX hybrids. Gosh dang moss. Here's a couple more packs. Crosman Premier Hollow Points 22. FX JSB 1813s. FX JSB 25.4s, 22 cal. These are some of the ones that I've been kind of messing around with lately, and .22 FX hybrids, 25 FX hybrids. Right here, here's the 22s. Here's the 25s. Nelson slugs, 38 grain, 36 grain on top. So yeah, I got, and these are not all of them. These are just a few of them that I've been kind of messing around with the last few days here before today. And got the 15.89s, I got pellets up I got boxes full of pellets and slugs that either not been shot yet or have and just not shot good in a gun that I've not tuned yet, or have shot them, tested them out, didn't shoot good because I'm on a different tune type of thing. And yeah, it comes down to that with the PCPs. Hoping FX will come out with the hybrids in 177. Yeah, it'd be kind of cool. Do you have .177 pellets? No, I do not. I used to have some 177s, sold them many years ago, just because I moved out of that caliber gun. It's not because it's just accurate, but I moved up. That's why I got rid of them. Yeah, Red Rider case is a starting kit, huh? Crosman Premier Hollow Points 500, $6. It's not bad. But you guys can't beat the 22 FX hybrids. They're pretty accurate, especially out of PCPs. That's what they're more made for, is PCPs. And they're not made for break barrels. Yeah, the Magnum might do decent with them, but slugs are more made for expansion and at a certain speed. Where PCPs have it. So the 22 FX hybrid right here is another slug. It's got a little hollow point in it. But yeah, these are the 22 hybrids. Then you get to the big boys, the 25s. They're a lot bigger. So here's the 25 hybrid, a lot bigger. So then again, like I said, the hybrids are definitely made for the PCPs. Like they're made for that speed. Actually, they do come out with 177 hybrids right there. They do have them. No. That's why I keep. That's why I got a buttload of these FX hybrids through my sponsor. They sent me a buttload of these slugs in both calibers. So what I do is I just keep the packs and I just load up, obviously 25. If I'm shooting 25 pellet, I would load up 25 pellets in this one and load up 22 pellets in these ones. And these things are actually really sturdy. And you can see right here with the 22, they got the individually slots. So 22 pellets, such as the FX hybrids, or the JSB FX 1813s. Right here. So here's a JSB 1813 and 22. If I go ahead and put it in here, it's right there. You guys can see it. I don't want to tilt it all the way because it'll just fall straight out, but you can see it in there right there. And you close it up. And then each slot is 10, so if your magazine holds 10 pellets, you just go 10 pellets, and bam. That's how they work. You're gonna have fun with full auto, 16 rounds of 50 foot-pounds. What gun are you talking about? Because I don't have a full auto. Blitz? Nope, I don't have them. I don't really care for Hatson. I have a Hatson 25 brake barrel. That thing was junk. Didn't shoot worth a crap. It was on sale for $100 out the door. I bought it, got into the 25, and about 2 months later, thing was so inaccurate I couldn't even hit a side barn. And it didn't matter what pellet I shot out of that thing. It was like all over the place, and I just gave up on it. And I went to the Storm Rider in 22 PCP, and that was my first ever PCP air gun. And I still actually have that thing, and that thing's a tack driver in 22. Like, Oh. Have you tried cleaning the barrel? Oh yeah, I clean my barrels after. I clean them after every about 50 to 100 shots through the gun. And once that's if I'm switching back and forth from different pellets to slugs. But once it's tuned in with the right slugs or pellets out of each one of my gun, I don't need to clean as much. Now, if I'm switching from, for example, if I'm like right now with Godzilla, I'm shooting the Nelson's 38 grains. Well, if I switch over to the FX hybrids, um, 26 grain, I believe they are. Yeah, 26 grain slug. So if I switch over to them, they're the barrel's gonna get a little dirty. So I don't really mess around with cleaning my barrels that much, just because of the um, once my guns are dialed in with that right projectile, I don't even mess around with any other pellet, slug, anything like that. You know, not at least my official hunting guns like Godzilla and the 22 Avenger. I don't really mess around with shooting anything else. And that's where it comes in key as to get samplers, because you don't want to go out there and just buy the FX hybrids and then they don't shoot good in your gun. Now you're stuck with them. Go out there and buy your sampler packs, because then you can try different grain and head size. And then once you figure out, okay, that, for example, you get a sampler of the H&N slugs in 22, 25. For example, let's say a 26 grain slug shoots good in whatever gun you have. Now you can go out and order that 26 grain slug because they shot good. You got to be careful with break barrels. They do damage up scopes a lot, and you got to get a Magnum rated scope on a break barrel, or a break barrel rated scope, like that Element optic that I have on my 22 Avenger. That is not really rated for a break barrel. I don't think. I've never tested it on one of my break barrels. But you got to be careful. Like the PCPs, you can put any scope on a PCP because there's no recoil. So you can go out there and put a nice Nikon scope on a PCP and it won't wreck it over your break barrels. Yeah, see, I don't shoot much break barrels anymore, so I couldn't answer that one. Yeah, some of them. Like I said, guys, I'm not into the break barrels anymore like I used to. Now I'm kind of into the PCP level, and they're a lot more accurate, so I don't even mess around with the break barrel anymore. But I'll be right back. I gotta go get something. Oh boy. comments. Some of the hawk scopes are spring rated. Yeah, they are. You know, and I've never shot a hawk. It's not because I just don't care for them, but I heard some good things about them, you know, and they make the beginner level scopes, which are low price, and they make some higher end scopes, you know. So it doesn't come down just because someone else has a scope. You know, it comes down to what your budget is and what you need a scope for. You know, like if you're going to be out there hunting, I'd get it like a 3 to 9 by 40. Now, if you're just going to go out and plink cans or shoot targets all day long, which a lot of people do around this world these days, as I just saw a mouse. Um, but you know, if you're just gonna do that, you need, you know, you got to figure out, okay, if you're just gonna plink pop cans all day, a 4 by 32 would be just fine, or a 3 to 9 by 32 would be fine. But if you're gonna be out there hunting, step it up a little bit. Yeah, it doesn't mean you can take that 3 to 9 by 32 scope and go out there hunting. You can. But most hunting scope these days are the 3 to 9 power by 40 and up, you know. So it all varies on what you guys are gonna use the scope for. I mean, I can't sit there and say, well, you guys need to go out and buy you an element that's gonna cost you like $600 or, you know, 400 and up to go out there and shoot pop cans all day long. I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, you know, it's everybody's opinion there, you know, and what you want to spend on a scope and what you're planning on using a scope for. Yep. That's awesome. For example, right here, I can give you guys a little tip on scopes here. So you have the Element Helix scope right here. This is a 6 to 24 by 50. Yeah, 50. Jeez. It's 30 millimeter scope mounts. So this scope right here is your higher level scope. And you know, I can compare this scope to a lower end scope, but here's the thing. When you compare them, the more money you're gonna spend, the better glass you're gonna get, the nicer reticle you're gonna have in the scope, and the scope quality, just full scope quality, is better. This scope right here, this Element Optic Helix, is basically a $400 and something scope out the door. But they did update a lot of things on the scope. You have a zero stop inside of the top turret here, so you can go ahead and crank it and it locks. So I have it on right now, so now I'm zeroed again. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, it all varies, and then I can compare it. Sorry, I was just kind of thinking about something there. Yeah, I might turn you guys away for a second there. But This is the Pinty 3-to-9x40 adjustable objective, 3-to-9 power. This scope right here is $50. And this scope is just as accurate as that Element. Well, here's the thing. It's different. A big price range is different in this scope over that Element. This scope performs just like that Element with the right pellet, the right tune. And this one's got mill dots in it. Perfect for hunting. So this one comes up with the flip up covers and a sunshade that Element does too. So you get the best of both worlds there. And, you know, for people that can't afford an Element, a Pinty's just as good. Delilah's looking for that squirrel still.
Gross. Alright, now you get all those little cans, you gotta put in the bag.
Ma, I'm live right now.
Okay, I'm just saying they're really bad.
Okay. But yeah, guys, like I said, the Pinty's a great scope. It's all out great. You know, it's a great hunting scope. You know, it's lower power, obviously, than the Elements and up. You know, but for the price point, you know, you could take that Pinty and put it on any gun, PCP or rimfire, and you know, it just works just as good. Yeah, the zoom's not as good as the Element lines, but you know, within a certain distance, it works together. Are you talking about the Pinty or the Element? Then I still have the old-fashioned. This thing is so ragged, dented, but I can tell you guys right now that this scope is deadly accurate, the Pinty. Yeah, they're great scopes. This scope I've had ever since I started my YouTube channel, and I've been doing this for, geez, I don't even know how many years I've been doing it for, but it's been many. And this is the old center point 3-to-9x32 scope. And it's got nicks and dents. You can see it's all scratched up and stuff. There's paint taping or taken off. You know, there's even dents and nicks in the scope all over the place. But if I go put this scope on one of my 22s or 25 Avenger, it still lights out with the, like, there's nothing wrong with this scope. And it's lighted reticle. Same thing with the Pinty 3-to-9x40 scope. It's lighted, you know. So this one's the same. It lights up, which is cool, you know. And this scope, I don't even know if they make this one anymore. They might not, but really, this scope is a great scope for plinking, hunting, you know, within a 50-yard range, because it's actually parallax to 50 yards. What kind of groups do you get at 100 yards with your best air gun? So that comes down to the point right there, like I said earlier. It comes down to that day. And what's the wind like? And, you know, the Godzilla is obviously a slug gun. It's shooting slugs. You know, but that doesn't mean anything. Just because it shoots slugs doesn't mean it could be accurate. So, basically, right now, I would say my 22, just by a hair, at 100 yards over the 25. Hang on. But yeah, like I said, I mean, they're both deadly accurate. They're both spot on. At 100 yards, I said 22, but the more I think of it now, is like, yeah, they're both about the same. I mean, 22 is obviously going to drop a little bit more because of the pellets I'm shooting out of the 22 over the Godzilla and 25. Um, but I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, the best groups I was able to achieve with both of them and the Crawl NPL3 and 22 at 100 yards was Godzilla was producing about a dime sized group with the slugs. The 22 is producing about a 1 inch group. You know, and that's just my guess. I mean, I've done it, but I'm trying to remember what it really was. The crawl did kind of terrible. The crawl was all over the place, and you know, I like I said, guys, it's hard to do, and maybe I will do a video on it and do it for you guys to see and compare all three. But you know, it's hard for me to say right now because I don't shoot much at 100 yards, just because it's not a hunting situation, you know, for me. I'm not shooting small game at 100 plus yards. So I don't really focus on that distance. I'm more focused in to that 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, and 50 because that's where I'm going to get the most shots when I'm out hunting over that 100 yard shot, you know. So if you guys really want to see a video on that, I will do a video and show you guys the difference there. But I don't want you guys just to go, well, you know, he's able to achieve this group at this distance. How come I can't? It comes down to the tuning. And obviously the Avengers are fully tunable on them. You can adjust the regulator. You can turn the reg up or decrease the regulator, turn it down. You can, you know, hammer spring adjustment. There's a lot of different settings on the Avengers. Even the Crawl NPL3 is almost the price of a Avenger right now out the door. And there's a power wheel right here. I could turn the Crawl up and down in power, and then you take the stock off of this Crawl NPL3, and then you can adjust the hammer spring on it. And that's the reason why I kind of gave up on the brake barrels, because brake barrels, you're kind of stuck with what it is. You can't adjust nothing on them. Besides maybe the trigger, that's it. You can adjust the trigger on a brake barrel, but these PCPs, you can do a lot more to them. I can adjust the trigger on all three of my guns out here right now. And the Avengers, I can adjust the hammer spring, I can adjust the regulator and everything without any issues. Right now, I think I said it before in maybe a video on the 25 or Godzilla is about 2400 regged. And 4 turns in on the hammer spring right now to shoot those Nelsons. And they're shooting roughly about 880 feet per second, which is plenty of speed for a slug. A lot of brake barrels can't even get that speed. And it's not anything against you guys that love your brake barrels, but once you get into the PCP world, you don't even want to get out of it. Like, you don't even really want to go back to brake barrels. I still have a few brake barrels now, still, but they just don't fit me much anymore. Yeah, exactly. Like I said, PCPs are really the way to go. They're flatter, they're easier. The only downfall is, you know, these Avengers, you can't, I mean, you can hand pump them, but it's going to take you a long time to hand pump them. unless you have a scuba tank or an air compressor like I have, I could air up these Avengers with my compressor I could do both under 10 minutes. You know, so I don't have to worry about hand pumping them. You know, so for all you that want to get into the PCPs, you know, you gotta figure out, okay, well, is this one hand pump friendly, or are you gonna go out and buy a compressor, or are you gonna buy a scuba bottle, and then you gotta think about, okay, is there a fire department nearby that's gonna air it up for me, you know? And that's something you gotta think about with PCPs, where I don't have to worry about taking a bottle to a fire department. I don't have to do any of that. I got a compressor that airs these things up like nothing. All right, we'll see you later. Yeah, each gun has it. You're right. Each gun does have its place. Um, you know, it's what it is. I mean, but then again, it does come down to what everybody's wants to use that gun for. You know, and that's what it is. It's not hard, you know, but it is also, it does, you know. So I don't think I'm gonna stand much longer here tonight, guys, just because I gotta get up early and take care of a few things and stuff like that. So if you guys have any last more questions or something about a gun or about something. Yeah, plus I'm kind of tired tonight. Like, yeah. Got up early this morning just for opening day. It's been a while. Like me, I want to shoot crows or shoot out crows with slugs at like 150 yards. You can, but like I said, it comes down to the tuning process. And I spent countless days tuning Godzilla for slugs. It's not easy. Really, pellet tunes are easy. But, you know, like I said, if you don't know how to tune a gun to shoot projectiles such as slugs, you're not gonna get nowhere. And that's what it comes down to. Like, yeah, you can go ahead and buy all these slugs, but it comes down to the tuning process of that slug and what you're planning on using it for, you know. And if you're happy with a 2-inch group at 35 yards with a slug, hey, congratulations, but not me. I don't like seeing 2-inch groups 35 yards with a slug at all. You know, if a slug's not shooting no less than a 1-inch group at 35 yards or less, I'm not shooting it. I'm not shooting that slug. You know, so that's who I am. Everybody might want different. Everybody's happy with different size groups at different distances. Hey, that's you. Congratulations. You know, comes down to what everybody's wanting to do. Even pellets these days. If I'm not lucky to get something like this, like here you go. This is day one with the 22 Avenger straight out of the box. These are with no tuning at all. This is junk. I call this just garbage. Like, this is nothing. Like, I was not even happy with this straight out of the box, and I tried 4 different pellets, and then the hybrids right here in 22. That's junk. But now that I got it tuned, I'm getting better groups on this right now, straight out of the box. You know, so if you guys are getting this and you're happy with that type of size groups and stuff and this and that, you know, that's you guys. How many yards was that? 35 yards straight out of the box. That's garbage. Like, I wouldn't even use that for hunting. And then here's the 25 with the Nelsons, aiming for the 8 just off to the left a little bit, aiming for the 9. There's 4 shots right there, and bam, bullseye. This was at 50 yards. So, because I got it tuned in. That was because I had the 25, you know, before I did that. So, there you go. Yep, tuning is everything. So we're gonna get off here, guys, and get to bed. Kind of tired. So, you guys like seeing the squirrel hunting videos or not? Because I don't mind doing them, but I'm not going to sit there and make them for nothing. So, anyways, guys, we're going to get out of here. I'm going to get to bed. I was up early this morning. So we're going to get to bed and get a good night's sleep tonight and take care of a few things in the morning. And so, yep, we got a long season ahead of me here. Today was just opening day, so we got until the end of March. So it's a long season here. So it's just gonna pick up from here on. So, you know, it doesn't matter if doesn't matter if every day I go out there and you know, it's not really about going out there and, you know, killing game. It's about going out there and having fun, relax, listen to nature and stuff like that. That's what I enjoy to do. So, you know, not every single day or every video you guys will see a squirrel hunt, because, you know, it's pretty much impossible to do it like that. You know, but there'll be some other videos about the guns like that and like we done before, and, you know, and then of course there'll be some hunting videos tuned in. You know, in between the gun reviews and the pellet testings and stuff like that. So keep you guys on your toes there. So anyways, guys, that's it. We're out of here, and gonna get to bed. So we'll see you guys on the next one.